How's everybody doing? Long time, long time no see. Welcome back to a re-inaugural episode of the Squirrelcast. I'm your host, Nutbag Mick Looney Tunes. We're gonna crack open this Coulter here, number 4 for the day. And the great thing about the Bob Barker microphone is that it's long enough that you can kind of knee hold it and open your breuvage simultaneously, which is kind of beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so what's been going on for the last, 4 months? Yeah, 4 months. Holy doodle. Cheers, genitals. Um, well, lost a job, found a job, went to the West Coast, drove a German car while there. That was fun. Started building a deck, haven't finished building a deck. And have ridden that slippery slope down into insanity. It's been a real wild ride. I'd like to, take a minute right here, thank all the listeners, and really thank my own brain for having lasted this long. But we gave it the gold watch and sent it on its way. So Sanity has retired. We're now just going to be talking in insane babbles from here on out, however long this gravy train goes. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the most love I will ever feel will be the warmth of 3 LED monitors with spreadsheets on them in front of me. I'm pretty sure that's where life is going to keep me. It's embracing, it's surrounding, it glows, might give me cancer, will give me cataracts, definitely doesn't help me sleep well. Blue light full of numbers in little boxes. Slightly maddening. But hey, it's a career I chose. So what are we going to talk about? Speaking of spreadsheets and computers and work and the never-ending march of squirrels inside my head. One of the things that's been preoccupying my mind, I guess, for the last couple of month-ish has been one of those underlying things in our world which everybody has to deal with, whether they're, somebody picking up groceries or a multi-billion-dollar company, and that is banks. I've never really seen extortion legalized in a way like banks. It's just a hilarious system because you give them money, they take risks with that money, they lend it out, they invest it, they take risks. When they lose your money, they're covered by the government. There's limits to how much they actually have to pay you back. And they get bailed out. But when you're struggling, you get charged out your butthole for basically having a rough time, being down on your luck. And I'll speak about this from kind of my experience. In my youth, of course, we all have, you go to buy your groceries for the week, especially this is back in my partying days. In university, you go back to go buy your groceries for the week and then realize that you really did buy that second bottle at the bar the night before because you hit the old NSF when you go to purchase your things. And that's never fun. Oh God, the screen just went dark. Why did the screen go dark? I hope I'm still recording. Anyways, you hit the NSF, But I'm going to speak more recently about experiences I've had in the enterprise world, where banks will throw themselves at a company to be their banker, and they all come in saying, "We're going to here to be your partners." I love that word, partners, and we're going to help you, and here are the things that we're going to do to help, and we're going to work together. And I can tell you through a couple of experiences that I've had professionally that the minute a company goes through a little glitch, a little slump, whatever the case may be, the banks are the first guy to come slamming on the door demanding their cash. If you have, like, let's say, a line of credit or whatever, a commercial line of credit, which is normal business operation. There is absolutely no patience. There is no courage. There is no appetite for risk. There is no nothing. Now, appetite for risk I can understand, because in my pecking order of pond scum that is finance, of which I make up part of that ecosystem of decrepitness, accountants are pretty far down the list of pond scum, but I've always considered bankers to be lower. That's because, basically, they are the lover that pledges their undying loyalty to you during, and then the minute you catch the flu and ask for a bowl of soup from said lover who never stops pledging their undying loyalty so long as you're railing them, the minute you catch the flu and you can't perform and you need some help, they're the ones that go, I need my hoodies back, or whatever they say. It's just really bizarre the way they behave. And then what I consider to be really kicking somebody when they're down is that when you run into a struggle, a bank will then charge additional, like, let's say you're short on cash and you're trying to right the ship and you're trying to correct the course and you're trying to get your company, you're an entrepreneur trying to get your company back on good standing, improve. They'll start saying you owe us X thousands of dollars a month in risk fees, essentially. You owe us, if we need to have, we're going to ask for more work from you, like more forecasting. And that's normal. They're going to ask for more stuff to prove that you are on the right path, right? That's okay. But then they're going to go and get all of that reviewed by an external professional, and they're going to charge you the fee that external professional charges. So they control how much work the external professional does, but you have to pay whatever bill comes up. So they have absolutely no incentive to say, maybe we should limit the amount of work, maybe we should think about the cost of this, because it's not their money. They just go, we'll get everything reviewed. I feel like it's almost like this blanket deal to just push companies into bankruptcy. And it's not like in the cases that I've dealt with that has happened, because oftentimes I think the bank, in their defense, they come in really heavy-handed, really pushy, and really punitive, and you have to kind of negotiate your way out of it. And then it's a tactic to get you to make sure you understand that this is serious, that you need to be on the right path. You can't joke around anymore. No delays. If there's a decision to be made, you have to make it, because some entrepreneurs can be very waffly about making hard choices. But I just look at the whole banking system and I kind of go, man, what a right to print money. All they do is hold money and invest it. They lend it out. I mean, the business model is not that, at its core, is not that complicated. Charge fees for holding money and giving access to funds, charge interest on money lent. But they've complicated themselves by getting into all sorts of derivative transactions that just, unless you've studied it for years or you've started your career there and worked for 20, like nobody's going to understand. Nobody. And it just seems well, in Canada, banks are so regulated that there's only a cut. Like in the U.S., you don't have that problem because you do have, very localized banks. So banks that exist only in X city or X county or X state. But in Canada, banking's way more regulated. So there's only like 5 or 6 big banks. There's a couple of small ones, but most small banks have already been eaten up by the big ones in Canada. So they function a little bit like a cartel, I don't know, man. Banks really eat me up. Just eat me up. What a pain in the butt. And of course, you never have a problem with the bank so long as you don't actually need them. That's the best part. As long as you don't need the guy, he's willing to help. As soon as you need him, can't be reached. Moving on. That's enough about our financial system. What's going on with you people? It's been a little muggy here in Montreal. We almost had a tornado yesterday. Not going to lie, it rained sideways for a little bit. Thought I was going to die. Saw some lightning. Patiently waited for the end. It never came. And what else is going on? I mean, the other thing is I'm really starting to feel the age. 41 has not been easier than, let's say, 38. Physically, I'm more tired. I never feel quite as in shape as I used to be. It's weird because I think, my most cut, my most in shape was during COVID, weirdly. I mean, let's be honest. It really doesn't matter because, as I said, I'm going to die in front of a couple of LG monitors and a Lenovo. So it's just going to happen one day. I'm just going to be staring at the spreadsheet, trying to figure out how to increase net profit. The heart's going to explode, and I'm going to slam my face into the keyboard. And a banker's probably going to get angry that I didn't deliver the financials. He'll come to my funeral and, leave a penalty fee on my coffin. When also, speaking of things that are keeping me alive, that we're grateful for, a little bit of the Coulter here. I don't know if you Americans have heard of this Prime energy drink. It's been all over the news in Canada last week or so. Apparently has enough caffeine in a single can to cover 2 Red Bulls. So I don't know who's ordering the double Red Bulls, but God help you. Because already just on my caffeine intake, which I don't do every day, I'm starting to see the emotions in the waking world, and it's a little frightening. You're definitely feeling a little bit more on the edge of reality on a little bit of caffeine. But I guess that's the way secretly I kind of like it, just a little bit more sharp, in focus. The problem is high definition reality is kind of like high definition porn. Nobody wants it. There's way too many age lines and stretch marks in it. You can see a little bit too much of the botched boob job on the world. Listen, let's leave it there because it's getting real weird now. I hope you guys have had a great couple of months there. We'll see when I can get back to you, but take her easy and just keep nipping at the edge.